All right, family. All right, and all riggedy right. What's going on this morning, family? December the 19th. 6 days away, huh? We hope, family, that number one, you didn't 6 days to Christmas, family. We hope that number one, you did not go into the poorhouse to buy gifts for your family. Family, this ain't what this is. Ooh, boy, this is gonna be a good one today, family. Hold on 2 seconds. Let me share this thing. Let me share this thing real quick. Pause 1 second. And we are back. Let me see if I can just find one more. Let me see. Hang on 1 second. All right, we're back. Live and in living color, family. Thank you for hanging in there for a second. We just want to share this thing out. Share this with your friends and family. This is going to be a good one. We're going to get the open and all this other stuff out of the way so that we can talk today. Because, again, like you see in the little tagline there, it's going to be talking about the law of rhythm. All right, family, the law of rhythm. Okay. We're at 11 and 12, and we're going to go out with a bang. Right. This book ends on a bang, man. Right. We're talking the 12 Universal Laws by Manhardeep Singh. Again, this is something that I suggest whether you are Christian, Jewish, or Muslim, right? Any part or sect in the Abrahamic household of faith, or whatever belief you might have, please get this book. Okay. Because it breaks down in a very serious way the laws that go. Again, we talked a long time ago that kind of spurred me into breaking down this book, the ideas that run life, right? These things here put by the maker that we believe here on this podcast. Again, your boy is Christian, right? And while we do not subscribe to some of these things, I wonder if I could find. Hold on. I didn't have the sound muted. That sound you heard was a woman acting a fool over in San Francisco, right? Family, we make a scenario like life is not like life is what it ain't. But anyway, let me before we get there, right? Welcome in us a different view family who believe in, who love after, who hunger and thirst, search and seek. And also, again, it's the holiday season, right? We have fun with that, which is a different view. Family, welcome in today. Again, today's topic is going to be in and around the 11th law in this book, the 12 laws of the 12 Universal Laws by Manhardeep Singh. Shout out to you, sir, for making this book. All right, shout out to you, sir, for making the book. And sharing your truth, your faith with us, by which we may learn, right, and see life in a different status, right? A different view. Okay. Again, the law of rhythm. Family, if you don't want to believe it, this life operates on a rhythm. When we talk about massa on this podcast, family, massa operates in a rhythm. So do massa's friends. They all operate off the same rhythm. So do those who are different, right? Again, life has rhythms. Not just one, but it has rhythms. Okay. Let's just continue here 1 second. See if I can find what I'm looking for here. I might not be able to find it because it's deep. Your boy on TikTok, man. We go in again at KJ's Clock. This is another thing, right? To find the podcast, it's on YouTube. At a different view 80, the at symbol, a different view 80. I didn't put yesterday's live on there, but that's going to be there shortly. So look out for that. All right. So will this one. You can, the little folder there is a different view. You can find it there. Again, the podcast is also on Spotify. That's the OG platform. Shout out to Spotify one time. even though we are going to have a conversation about Spotify dealing with the warped thing or wrapped thing that you see at the end of every year. Because again, it's about giving credit to where credit is due, family. And shame on you, Spotify, but we digress. We're gonna leave that one for when we do our end of year this year. It's gonna have an interesting spin to it. This year has been sheesh, huh? This year. Oh man. Anyway, so we're gonna talk about that. There's just a lot of things to talk about. In the words of Cody Rhodes, again, we could get into John Cena's last match, which we probably will again. It is necessary to talk about because at some point people have to understand very clearly that there is a rhythm, right? When we talk about WWE. Let's get, because I keep saying the word rhythm. Let's look at the rhythm's definition. We are big on breaking down words and phrases on the podcast, right? That's been one of the things amongst many. So we're going to continue on. What's the definition of the word rhythm, family? Anybody know? Anybody in the chat, feel free. We, comment respectfully. Again, this is a thing. Unfortunately, it's another rhythm. We are some disrespectful people, family, but for as much as there is disrespect, we can be respectful. Right? Do we know what the word rhythm means? We're not talking like hip hop and all that kind of thing. We do the dancing hip hop, right? Or the bachata, right? Or the merengue. We're not talking. Again, that is an expression of rhythm, right? But do we know what rhythm is? Okay. You look up in Oxford's dictionary, very simple. Do not see we poo-poo. Family, be careful, right? Again, we talked about this, in the beginning and the outset of this thing. And you look into Psalm 1, real simple. Don't sit in the seat of the scornful. The word scorn, family, deals with this idea where we constantly make fun of and discredit all day. That's what scorn means, right? Let's just do it. Let's do it in real time, family, right? Because it don't take nothing. The same way you can flick the screen to look at a video, you can type in a few words to find out definitions. So scorn's definition. Not the character that we use. I'm a Marvel Snap card game, mobile card game player. So not that scorn character that helps you win those games. We're not talking about we're not talking about that scorn, right? The feeling or belief that someone or something is worthless or despicable. Another word added to it is contempt. You know how like Daffy Duck would say despicable. Was it Daffy or was it Sylvester the Cat? Whichever one, right? I know for as long as we keep going away from history, folks don't even know what Looney Tunes is anymore. But, it's a far cry from what it used to be. However, this that's as a noun, as a verb, to feel or express contempt. To feel contempt. Could you imagine? Let's say about ourselves. Good God above, help me say it today, man. Scorning internally, scorning externally. Blessed are you when you don't do that, right? Okay. Back into the definition of the word rhythm. A strong, regular, repeated pattern. Now, this is the part where people get caught off on. See, for me, in my mind, I stop right there. Because that's what it is in life. Listen to this, family. A strong. It's not like, so when our Muslim brothers and sisters talk about an open enemy, right? Maybe they're not wrong. Strong, regular, repeated pattern. That's rhythm. Now, the back end of the definition says of movement or sound. And that's normally where people go. But again, it has a certain sound to it, family. The words out of your mouth are a sound. Movement. It looks a certain way. systematic arrangement of musical sounds. And of course, this is the part where we go here. But I caught this one on in the definition of this word, and this really hit me, man. Principally according to duration and periodic stress. What is, KJ, periodic stress? What is that, huh? Now. Let's just go backwards here for a second. Periodic stress, just by its own definition. Again, simple. We don't have to do weird. We don't have to do weird kind of anything here. This is just periodic stress. What does it mean? Again, welcome in, y'all, right? We're again talking today about the law of rhythm that's found in the book from Manhardeep Singh, The 12 Universal Laws, right? Periodic stress, or as it said, episodic acute stress, refers to experiencing frequent reoccurring episodes of short-term stress. Don't you know that even though in the short term, right, because we talk about that thing like 200 years, of course we can go back further, but we're just going to talk about from the formation of the United States until now. 200, until the 1900s, we'll say it that way. 200 years, right? So short-term stresses compared to the rest of life, right? Humans been down here how long? We'll play the Christian game for a second, just say like 2,000 years. We're just going to do that just for fun. We know it's longer, family. We know it's longer, but we're just going to go, we don't short-term the maker like that over here. Not over here. I don't do that, right? We know it's longer, but short-term stress. Don't you know how people would formulate certain thought processes on the short term when you under stress like that? Much less the long term. This is why we say, family, when we talk about our elders, okay, this is just a rationale that you can see. While much truth is there, okay, and our ancestors, right? Because we don't, this year, we're talking the year wrap up as we get to Christmas and all that. We done lost some family members. We done lost some dear people to us, right? Shout out and God bless the dead one time. At the same, whether you learn something that is, whether you learn something that was a negative lesson that could help you in the positive, or a positive lesson that'll help you avoid the negative, at the end of the day, family, right? Because again, we talked about the law of what was 10? I forget. I need to kind of commit these to memory. Not polarity, the law of relativity. Right. So this is this little joke on the positive negative thing, because again, people be like, oh, this ain't really bad. It ain't inherently bad or good. No, when somebody come up in that store, we put up a thing online, right? A couple black women online. I mean, I put it on TikTok. I reposted it on TikTok. Black woman up in another black business. Family, when you read The Miseducation of the Negro by Carter G. Woodson, the father of black history is how he is told. It's how he is touted and explained. Right? In and amongst the hood and the village. That's the nickname they give him. Don't you know he talks about how black folks do not support each other in their own business. Taught by Massa. Look, we're talking a rhythm now. There's a rhythm of this that has gone along. This is internal as well as there is an external rhythm. At the end of the day, family, through this periodic stress of being up under oppression, when you look at how they operate, again, a rhythm, remember this clearly. Captivity, oppression, and disproportion. That's what you find historically throughout the whole thing. You'll always find those three things. The opposite are those who are operating opposite, right? Honor, justice, proper proportion, sharing. This is what you see with your Rastafarian brothers and sisters. We don't own nothing, we share, right? It's supposed to be the same thing with the Christian. That's what I couldn't find, is a video of a homeless woman inside of a church, two YT women sitting there videoing the woman, gonna call the cops on her to get her up out the church. Family, let me tell you something. We're talking about is, see, again, I profess Christianity, but we're not talking we're not talking Christendom, whatever that is. That ain't me. Okay. On some level, we are allowing each other to be mean boys and girls to each other using holy text to do it. God help us. Huh? Nope. Not me, not over here. That ain't it. Right? So again, the law of rhythm. Family life and everything has a rhythm. It has a rhythm. The sun rising, the sun setting, that's a rhythm. The changing of the seasons, that's a rhythm. The way our heart beats is a rhythm. I don't have any background music, but y'all can hear the clock that's in my office. That tick-tock is a rhythm. Right? Life has rhythm. The ebb and flow of the water on the beach. How many of us live by the beach? See, again, Massa got you looking in that cubicle. He got you looking at that register. He got you everywhere else but on this earth, because you have to be distracted so that they can take from you. When we look at this beautiful planet, man, the ocean, the tide rolling in and rolling out has a rhythm. The wind, even in the winter, as cold as it is, man, and that wind, shout out Chicago, New York, these big cities, you know what I'm talking about? Even when you get to the prairie, right, the frontier land, right, and you in these mid states like Nebraska and Oklahoma, where there ain't too much to block that wind and it just blowing you around, right? A rhythm to the wind. Family, we got to understand that we have broken some very serious natural laws and we're paying the penalty for it. That's not some hocus pocus. This is just what it is, right? We have to love each other. Not sit there and use our phone at that point to support hurting another. You can't help a homeless woman. Couldn't help her find a shelter. None of that. You had to just record her. Now, people can turtle shell in their mind because we good at that, right? Raphael, Michelangelo, Donatello, and Leonardo are not the only Ninja Turtles, man. We are some turtle shelling out here, man. Right? So we can sit there and say, oh, well, KJ, you don't know when the video picked up at the time, and maybe this woman was actually, well, we know the excuses that we make for Massa, family. We started off this podcast a long time ago. Massa don't need your excuses. Right? We think this plantation life ended. It didn't. It transmuted. Let's just see again, the laws of this universe can be used in the positive or the negative. When you talk about, I want to say it is law number 8. I could be wrong here. I think I'm right though. Law number 8 in this book is the law of perpetual transmutation of energy. Family, any rule that's used one way can be used the other. We said it a long time ago in the podcast that you can set a precedent for things. And what you do in one way can be done the other way, right? Family, there is a rhythm to how they operate. When we say they, we're talking about those set in opposition under some guise of holiness for your oppression, which means you're going to work all day. They'll even mess around with this unto the Lord mess, because you're gonna drag God into this. No. Stop lying on God, right? This is on the people. We are choosing to hurt each other the way we're doing this, right? If I'm saying and pronouncing this wrong, my apologies, but shout out to Bondi Beach, I believe, in Australia, right, one time. We pray nothing but healing for y'all in a time of pain, family. If we cannot be to the point where at the very least we send good wishes and good energy and prayers for folks, this is on top of your money now, right? Because we give the Massa real good, but it's time to start giving to each other as well, right? I had seen a powerful thing online. One of my dear colleagues I used to work with, right? Family had been in a horrible accident. All types of stuff, right? Multiple surgeries needed and stuff. People banded together to give them money, family. We talking the physical as well as an abstract type of thing, right? We got to be okay supporting each other. We know people who have businesses trying to be on the come up, family. Massa is okay supporting their own. We got to be the plantation worker. Or let's just take, because the one part has been abolished. That's what everybody says, right? So the plantation, the worker has got to be okay supporting each other, right? If we don't, and we keep playing a dog eat dog kind of game the way Massa do, which again is a rhythm, we're not going to get far, but they will, right? And that is disproportion. That's not properly purported, right? So, again, back into this law of rhythm. Let's just read some excerpts here. We're going to play a little video for y'all because, again, we're talking about there's a rhythm. There's a rhythm in relationships. This is one of these things that we talk about in relationships. Again, I'm going to speak specifically to the romantic one today. But there is a rhythm to relationships. And family, welcome in. The law of rhythm. Nothing is permanent. That's how it starts off here. Again, this is law number 11. The earth revolves around the sun. The writer goes on to say the moon revolves around the earth and the earth rotates once every 24 hours. Family, this is the stuff we learned in science, correct? Okay. The four seasons change. The tide ebbs and flows. Day turns to night and becomes day again. Now, I wanna do this in real time, family, because again, for some odd reason, we like to turtle shell. Again, man, we are some good. Man, we turtle shell really good, man. Okay. Now we just what did we just finish saying? That the earth revolves around the sun, the moon revolves around the earth rotates once every 24 hours, right? The four seasons change, the tide ebbs and flows, day turns to night and becomes day again. This is all rhythm. What you think it's saying in the Bible about that, family? You think it says anything on that? Because we know we shouting hallelujah all day long and heard Christmas carols shouting hallelujah all day long. Do you think it says anything on that? And this was cool for me to find this out a while ago, right? This is probably a couple months ago, listening to a podcast, man. And this is another brother on YouTube to drop this knowledge here. But it just brought something to mind that I had completely missed. Check this out. The words of the preacher, the son of David, king in Jerusalem. Vanity of vanities. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 1. Vanity of vanities, says the preacher. See, again, we're looking, and it's nothing against folks pointing out the wrong on things. I don't, we can do that all day long. I think that's right to do, right? You're told to study all that kind of thing. However, we also have to accept where the right is as well. So, again, with that thought in mind here. The preacher, vanity of vanities, all is vanity. That's verse 2. Verse 3, what profit a man of all his labor which he taketh under the sun? Now, again, we know this verse is here that says, what profits a man to gain the world but lose their soul? I digress. One generation passes away. Another generation cometh. This is the rhythm that's being explained. But the earth abides forever, which it does, right? Again, we just finished talking about we lost a lot of dear ones this year, right? We're still here. The earth is still here. And we go on in their stead, right? Okay. The sun also arises, goes down, and hastens back to, again, everything, because everything, unfortunately, they've made it patriarchal by accident. We're going to get into the 12th. The 12th law is going to, it's just going to set, you're going to see rhythm there, right? Because the 12th one deals with gender. But I digress. We'll leave that for the next conversation. I say all that to say it says his place where he arose. Family, the sun don't have no gender. Okay? So it would be to the place where it rises. Right? Now, this is good old King James. This is how these writers wanted to talk, okay? The wind goes toward the south and turns about north, whirls around continually, and returns again to its circuits. And again, family, welcome in. We are talking about the law of rhythm, the 11th law of the law of rhythm in the book from Manhardeep Singh, the 12 universal laws, right? All the rivers run into the sea. This is verse 7 in Ecclesiastes 1. Again, this man in this book, we're just going to go back to what he said in this book here. The earth revolves. We're talking, this is page 67 in this book. This is something I found it right online, oceanofpdf.com. You don't have to buy the book. If you did, again, I suggest people have this book in their library. Okay? Because again, this is dealing with the laws that this life lives around. It revolves around, right? The earth revolves around the sun. The moon revolves around the earth. This is what this writer's saying. The earth rotates once every 24 hours. The 4 seasons. Again, we got 24 hours, family, by the way. It's a shame how much we pack in that thing. You got to sleep for 8. This is scientific stuff. I know we like to play around with 6. I can get by with 4. You got to sleep for 8. Yo, yeah. And then you wonder why we go to the doctor's office and we're hurting and dying, right? You sleep for 8, you work for 8. Again, we know Massa keep playing around, but you got to do 12 hours, and we wax poetic about, like, you ain't doing enough. You got to do it. Look, you work for 8. That's 16 right there, family. Right? If I'm doing math right. Y'all help me out, okay? What is happening in the other 16? What are we doing, y'all? Right? No, that's too much, right? Am I doing this right? 16 off 24. What's the number, family? Somebody help me real quick. Family, we only have a certain amount of time here in every day. So what are we doing? What are we doing, y'all? You got to have time with your family, right? This is a good point to put this in. This is a good part to put. Again, we're talking the law of rhythm. God help me today, man. We're talking the law of rhythm, family. Don't you know why the family is broken the way it broken? There's some of us. There are repairers of the breach out there. Don't you get me wrong. We out here, family. And family don't always look every which way that we think it is. This primrose mess that they fed us from the 60s and the 70s and the 40s and the 50s and the 20s and the 80s and the 90s. It's not always what you think it is, but yet there is still a rhythm. That rhythm may look different than yours. Let me finish tying in before I play this video here. Let me tie in. It's off a powerful movie. Do y'all know that movie Fences? Man, shout out the movie Fences one time. Good old Denzel and Viola Davis, right? Denzel putting game on his son, right? What Massa owe you. What they owe you. You're not working for nothing, doing some work as unto the Lord and all that mess they send you, twisting holy truths to support their pocketbook. We were talking about periodic stress in rhythm there. So let me finish off that thought before we go, right? Because your boy tend to do that. Where you don't get again, periodic stress, episodic acute stress is how it is said, right? In science and in mental studies, refers to experiencing frequent, reoccurring episodes of short-term stress. Now, again, for people group, multiple peoples, because we know that the plantation worker was our East Indian brothers and sisters, our Native brothers and sisters, Black brothers and sisters. We know at least those groups were there. Our Mexican brothers and sisters, these folks were here on the plantation. They were working for Massa. What do you think that short-term stress would have done to the mind and the psyche? No wonder we distrust each other something serious, family. We ought to be careful which ones we distrust, though. I'll tell you that. Again, there is a rhythm. There is a rhythm. Let's just go back into this while I'm explaining this part of the definition. A strong, regular, repeated pattern. So we understand you not trusting certain of them. We get it. But we must ask the question, is it everyone? Is it all our Asian brothers and sisters? No, this is the group that black folks continue to keep going over. While there's an Asian brother and there's an Asian sister online I just reposted, right, who is married to a Mexican brother. The black folks continue to keep going over. While there's an Asian brother and there's an Asian sister online I just reposted, right, who is married to a Mexican brother.